Good evening and welcome to Inside Kennedy Football, your weekly look inside the Eagle football program. My name is Josh Powers. Coming up on this edition of Inside Kennedy Football, we'll talk to the head coach, Kedrick Williams, about last week's game against SMB and their upcoming game tomorrow night on a Wednesday against Minneapolis Patrick Henry. It'll be senior night for the Eagles. Coach Scott Etzel will also drop by, and in the players segment, we speak to a couple of the seniors, Nate Ledoux and Tony Torres. But up first, the head coach, Kedrick Williams. Coach, I know you were hit with some injuries going into this game last week against a very good SMB team, who I think now is 5-2 on the year. You kept it close for a large portion of that game. It was 7-0 for a long time within a score. Things got away a little bit late, but I thought it was a good, gritty effort from a team of yours that was a little bit undermanned going into that game.
Josh, you had some good points there. First, let me say hello and welcome to Eagle Nation. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Josh, thanks for having me. Yes, you hit the nail on the head right there. We had some injuries going in. We had about 8 guys that was going to be either halfway or out. We made the conscious decision as a coaching staff, with me and Todd, me ahead of that, to say we're going to play the first half all the way out. Then a lot of those guys I took out in the second half. You know, one of those key guys were our quarterback. He didn't play all game. And, you know, that makes a big difference. That makes a huge difference. But we wanted to get guys still some banged around, get some contact a little bit. And that's how we did that. You know, we played them in the first half. The second half, we let our JV guys get some reps.
And it's important because this is really the fun time of year, Kedrick, right? I mean, we'll look ahead to this game coming up tomorrow, but right now you've all but assured a home game. I think it's pretty much a certainty. I'm not a computer expert, but it's going to happen, right? There's some big games on your schedule, so that's something I know you've had in mind since the beginning of the season. And now it's time to kind of put that plan into reality.
Well, we'll talk about that big game later on in the second segment. The game I've been waiting for probably about 26, 27 years.
Right.
But other than that, you know, we did what we were supposed to do earlier on this season. We've had some struggles late. Don't get me wrong. We beat a good Southwest team this year. You know, we had a win that we was questionable about. You know, show some toughness and got that win out. We got some other wins that we were supposed to. We won our district. Things like that is ways of success. You know, our playoff seeding was already set. So the smart thing now is just to get our guys healthy.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this last game, Coach. And as all season, your defense has been keeping you in it. Here they get a big fumble recovery right at the goal line.
Yes, I believe that's our guys' feeling. They kind of argued about who got that hit. That was Marquez Monroe and Luke Dosen on a combined effort there.
And then more from the defense, Coach. SMB driving again. And guess who makes another big play? He seems to do this every game, Elijah
Smith. You know, he's a great corner shutdown. People keep trying to test him, you know. They keep trying to think that because he's a little guy, he's not going to come out with it. And Elijah plays great man coverage there and gets us in great field position. And again, seeing those things out of key starters, even though we lost the game and had a lot of people out, you know, that was the reason some of those guys were still playing, just to keep them fresh, you know, coming up for the playoffs.
These are the plays that we've really seen from your defense all year. It's been such a strength, and it was, again, a big strength in this game. One more clip, Coach. You guys get a big play on special teams. I know you'd like to maybe have a couple of these in the next upcoming weeks to help your offense get some points on the board.
This is Tajon Pearson. Again, one name you guys haven't heard all year, but due to injuries, he got to play this week. Again, Tajon has a nice hit up the seam. It's kind of funny how he got caught there. I tell him all the time, but you know, I tell him that's why he's a point guard. You know, doesn't have that burst out speed like a lot of our other guys do.
Coach, when you look at this last game here, what are some things? I know you rotated in a lot of the younger guys. What are some of those benefits that you can reap down the line, maybe even this year, if not next year, by getting some of those other guys some experience?
Well, you know, Josh, one thing I hang my hat on is that since I came to head coach in 2019, I've played freshmen at the varsity level. I've played sophomores at the varsity level. And we continue to do that because that's how you build and that's how you turn around a program. I truly believe that. Letting those young guys get some quality playing time. Don't wait till we get down by, 4 and 5 touchdowns in the game. No, throw them in there right now. Throw them in the fire. Let's see if they get hot. Let's see if they get burned. And sometimes they will. But oftentimes, they'll stand up, man up, and play good football.
who were some of those younger guys that you put in that maybe we won't hear yet this year, but maybe those are some of the guys that you've got your eye on to take a big step up next year, like we've seen so many of the guys do this year?
Right. One sophomore I'm really proud of is Enoch DeBlanca. He's played some outside backer and some D-back for us. We put in Daviel Halliburton, another sophomore there. I got 2 secret weapons coming up, man. I got 2 300-pound freshmen, and they didn't get in that game, but I'll tell you something. They're going to turn heads at Kennedy on the east side of Bloomington. So I'm really excited for them.
All right, Coach, final one for you. As you look ahead to this week, it's a short week. So how is that preparation leading into the game? We covered Jefferson. They got to play on a Thursday because of scheduling. Your team played on the Friday, one less day compared to them. But is it really apples to apples because really all the teams are coming into a short week this week?
The short week helps a lot of teams, as far as getting your body right, getting back healthy. So definitely don't want to discredit that. Today we had kind of a rainy practice to simulate for tomorrow night. Turned all the sprinklers on the field. We held the hoses, sprayed the kids down real good with wet the field, made it real nice and muddy for them, just so they could see what their tracking is, their cleats and different things like that. So that was today's practice. That's something that I've long wanted to do as a coach, before a rainy game in preparation of that. So it's little things like that, keeping the kids on their toes, keeping the kids focused, still having fun. The one thing I will say is that Kennedy football is not used to having success this late in the season and still playing for a reason. So, that's the mindset we have to explain to kids, that this is not over. Normally at MEA break, guys are making vacation plans, This year they understand, practice is mandatory this week, and, we'll continue to fight getting ready for the playoffs.
All right, I know it's going to be a fun night tomorrow, Coach. I know you're pumped for it. We'll let all the viewers know why, if they don't know already, why this is such a big game for you. Besides that, it's the regular season finale. We'll see you back in the final segment.
Appreciate it. Can't wait, Josh.
All right, coming up next in the players segment, a couple of those seniors that are going to be honored stop by. Nate Ledoux and Tony Torres join me next on Inside Kennedy Football.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of you, or your families, asking you to put yourself in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep you secure for the rest of your life. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
Back on Inside Kennedy Football, the Eagles have their senior night tomorrow. It's the final home game, at least in the regular season. Kennedy's going to have one more at least in the postseason, but regular season finale at Bloomington Stadium tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Watch it live on BEC-TV, or better yet, head on out to the stadium and cheer on the Eagles, hopefully to yet another win this year. A couple of those seniors going to be experiencing that senior night. Join me now, Tony Torres, Nate Ledoux. Appreciate the time, guys.
Thank you.
Before we talk about senior night, I noticed you're both wearing your BAA jerseys. Yeah. Tony, when did you start playing football? I'm assuming you started with BAA, and maybe just share how BAA helped prepare you to eventually become a Kennedy Eagle here at the high school level.
I actually started in 6th grade, 1 year at Richfield, and then I moved to BAA since the locations. But it's prepared me a lot. It's a lot different. High school's a lot different than.
Sure.
Yeah.
How about you, Nate?
I think I started in 4th grade, and it's really helped me prepare to just hit people. It's very different from every other sport, so it's just helped prepare me to just hit people, have fun.
Tony, tomorrow is not the last time you're going to be playing at Bloomington Stadium. Luckily, you guys have done well enough in the regular season to get a home game in the playoffs, but it is senior night. It's that night where you walk out on the field, and I know maybe when you're a freshman it seems like so far away, but as you get closer and closer to tomorrow, what are some of those emotions that you've been experiencing here?
It goes by so fast. It has been a breeze. Not a breeze, but time has flown.
What do you think about tomorrow? What are going to be some of those things that you're going to want to take in and remember about that last senior game in the regular season?
kind of feeling sad. It's coming to it's 4 years, you know. It's coming to an end real soon.
How about you, Nate? What are some of those emotions for you?
I'm excited, but I'm also pretty sad about it all coming to an end. You know, just trying to hold on to the feeling of being on the field, pretty much.
This is not a big senior class, just barely into double digits in terms of the amount of seniors. So, Tony, what has it been like for you as a group? I know you were here on this show a couple years ago. It probably seems like forever with everything that's happened in the world since then.
Yeah.
But as a senior now, to have the type of season that you guys have had, right, winning the district, now you have a home playoff game, pretty much assured. How does it feel to be a leader amongst that group that has done some pretty darn good things this year for Kennedy?
It feels a lot different than other years. We've improved a lot, and we want to continue improving, at least for the next classes.
Nate, how about you? I'll ask you the same question. As a senior here, how cool has it been to experience the success that Kennedy's had this year?
Oh, it's been really cool. Everything's been different. Practices, people work harder, more people in the weight room working harder, and you can see it when we're playing the games. Everybody's just working a lot harder.
All right, let's talk about you both as individual players here. Tony, on the offensive line, what are some of the strengths you bring to the table? And what are some things that your line needs to do as a group to create a few more running lanes for the other guys tomorrow night?
Our offensive line really just needs to work as a unit in order to create quality blocks for the skilled players to run through. That's our main problem.
How about you, Nate? You're mostly on the D line. What has been the key to success? Obviously, you've got some great players on that unit. That always helps, right? But defensively as a group, how have you been able to continually make plays game after game like we've seen all year?
Just hitting every play at 110%, just giving your all every single play.
All right, guys. I know, Tony, football's not your only sport, right? So tell all the viewers what other sport you participate at in Kennedy and maybe some of the specifics in terms of that weight class and all those other things.
I wrestle. I'm currently trying to cut down to 220 pounds at the moment. I'm tired of wrestling heavyweight.
It's always a good goal, right? Nate, how about you? What are some other interests of yours besides football?
I'm in Boy Scouts, and I'm working my way to get Eagle. All I have left is my Eagle Scout project.
Do you know what the project is yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right, well, we wish you the best of luck in that, guys. I appreciate the time once again. Best of luck tomorrow. I know it's going to be an emotional night as senior night, but hopefully we'll be able to root you guys on to a big win, okay?
Thank you.
All right, that's the players segment. Coming up next, assistant coach Scott Etzel drops by. That's what Inside Kennedy Football continues.
The Kennedy Foundation mission is to be a hand up financially to help students in activities and athletics. All students have the ability to participate in any sport or activity regardless of your prior experience. Kennedy is a well-versed school. Lots of opportunities for students to thrive and be their best. Anyone can join us in helping with our fundraising efforts, like purchasing one of our Love Your Melon caps available on our website, purchasing a season pass that is available to all varsity games for both Jefferson and Kennedy throughout the entire school year, and last but not least, join us on Monday nights at Bingo at the Sports Page. See you there!
Back on Inside Kennedy Football, senior night for the Eagles tomorrow night. Minneapolis Patrick Henry is the opponent. We'll take air about 6:45. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. You can watch it live on BEC-TV, or better yet, get out and support the Eagles. Cheer on the district champs to hopefully another win tomorrow night. One of the guys who won't be doing a lot of cheering, but he'll be doing a lot of coaching, Scott Etzel, back on another edition of Inside Kennedy Football. Appreciate it as always, my friend.
Great to be back, Josh.
All right, Scott, we just had a chance to meet Nate and Tony for the second time. He was on our program a couple of years ago. Just say a couple of things about each of those young men. They just seem like just terrific students and terrific people.
Oh, they both are. I mean, Nate has done everything we ask, and many times to say, man, I wish Nate was in somebody else's body, but he's been our long snapper this year. He's been a backup for several years, and Tony has come out, and he's been rock solid. He came out a little bit late this year, but he's one of our more physical guys and found his way right in the starting lineup pretty fast. So just, great kids on the field and off the field.
What has this been like? I know going into the season, you never know in terms of what a season's going to be, right? But you knew you had some good players. Now that we're almost to the end of the regular season, you've had some big wins under your belt as a team. You've gotten that district championship with a big win on the road against Southwest. I know there's a lot of football left ahead, hopefully for you guys, but have you had a chance to look back at all and say, gosh, we've done some pretty nice things this year already?
You have, but it's so hard because you reload each week. But it's been the place that we've been, being 2-2 in the middle of the season, and just going, wow, this has never happened. And it's been so long. And we talk back, and Coach Shelton was back in 04, but 08 maybe they were like this. But just the kids coming up, like we didn't have a great week of practice against Southwest, and I was feeling uneasy. And then all of a sudden, wow, we get a kickoff return, we get a block punt, and all of a sudden we beat an undefeated team, and now they haven't won since then. And so it's great to be here, and I'm not looking forward to the weather tomorrow night, but we're hoping that for a big score, and the kids know the history that you're going to talk about with Coach in a little bit.
Right.
But so regardless of that, we're hoping for a big win, and the seniors go out, and to be 4-4. That's big time in Kennedy football history.
Right. Hopefully we'll keep the weather away. It's been such a great fall. I don't want to jinx it, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. But what's that mindset? And we'll talk to Coach K about it too in the last segment. But you're going up against a team, Minneapolis Patrick Henry, not a lot of success this year. You've had a couple of close games that maybe you should have pulled out. De La Salle and Richfield, both at home. So has the message changed at all this week against a team that maybe you look and say, okay, we were really hoping we can win this one?
I don't think it's changed. I think, there's more pressure because there's that 4-4 sitting there with us. But just the fact that, for so many years, we were that team who hadn't won a game, and maybe we beat Richfield. And then we said the same thing. Coach and I said the exact same thing in different meetings the week of De La Salle, like, here's my greatest fear, that we play to their level and it's a close game and they hang in there and win. And that's what exactly happened. And so it's kind of the same message. We can't let our guard down because we want to finish strong. We want to step into the playoffs like we're back home on Tuesday night. But it's the same thing. They're looking for their first win, and we don't want the weather to be an equalizer. We just want to hopefully stay on the ground and not, get turnovers from them, but just hold on the ball, and we think we can be more physical than on both sides of the ball.
Is it a little bit easier knowing that, okay, we've already got that number 3 seed wrapped up? There's really not a lot to play for, to lose this week. If you do lose, is that a little bit easier to maybe free up the guys to play well, or is it just doesn't really matter and you're just trying to play football? I
don't think anybody wants that. Nobody wants to go into playoffs with a loss. And we don't talk about the fact that they're a 3A school and we're a 5A, but I mean, it should be, we want to be on that upswing going up for the playoffs. We don't want to have another bump in the road and then test our psyche and have, the MEA weekend and, different practice schedule and stuff like that. So we want to go into that Tuesday night like we crush somebody on Wednesday night, and whoever it's going to be, Apple Valley or Two Rivers, we'll wait and see.
Walk us through that schedule for tomorrow. As I understand, there's no school in session for the guys and for the coaches that are teachers. So walk us through what that timeline is up until kickoff for tomorrow.
Well, they've got to be there at 3 o'clock. He made that loud and clear, and we're going to do an on-field walkthrough. But I have meetings in the morning, and then lunch, and then another meeting, a staff meeting, and PLC up till I think 2:45. So I won't have kids, but my mind will try to be engaged in whatever I'm doing with my professional development, and then turn on the switch at 3 o'clock when we start meeting.
You've been through quite a number of senior nights with Kennedy. I know this isn't a huge group, but what are some of the things, we'll talk to Coach K about it too, but stand out about this senior class? Obviously great success this year, but on and off the field, what are some of the things that you're going to remember about this group?
Well, I just think the fact that they survived the pandemic last year as juniors and that on and off again, and we had to grow, and we all went through things that maybe we didn't talk enough about, but we made it through, and playing that last game on November 16th and 2 with snow on the ground, and I think they're starting to see that if you buy into what Coach K is trying to deliver, good things can happen, and for some of it's not easy. but I think if this senior class goes out 4-4, it'll be one for the record books, and they can put their hat and hang it on that for a long, long time.
Well, we'll hope that happens, Coach. It's about 24 hours from now. We'll be getting things underway.
Yep.
So we'll see you tomorrow. Best of luck. Appreciate the time as always.
Outstanding. Thank you, Josh.
All right, that's assistant coach Scott Etzel. Coming up, one final segment. We'll talk to Coach Kedrick Williams about a very special game against a former team tomorrow night. We'll explain why when Inside Kennedy Football continues.
As head coach of the Kennedy Eagles football program, I am so excited that the 2021 season is on. I would like to personally invite you, your friends, family, and the community out to support our program. We have been working very hard to provide an entertaining style of football that you will enjoy. The Eagles are ready to kick it.
It's our time. Come fly with the Eagles.
Back on Inside Kennedy Football, senior night tomorrow for the Eagles. They take on Minneapolis. Patrick Henry back to preview this game. The head coach, Kennedy Kedrick Williams. Minneapolis, Patrick Henry. School very familiar to you. Tell everybody why.
You know, I'm proud, very proud to say that I am a Patrick Henry Patriot. I tell the kids all the time this week, I bleed red. I wear blue and gold. But I'm a proud graduate of Patrick Henry High School. You know, it really changed a lot of things in my life, the 90s. And just the camaraderie that we had, I've tried to tell our seniors, you know, it's kind of crazy, Josh, because my senior year, being from a school that wasn't very good in football back then, we won our 4 games. You know, we went, over 5. Back then we played 7, so we went 4-3 my senior year. And to have, I know what that experience is like. You know, I think we won 3 games total in 3 years before that. So I understand what it is to have that success your senior year, man, and just really thrive off of it.
What was Coach K like as a player? Walk us through the positions you played and maybe some of the highlights from that senior year.
I would say this. In 1993, I led the city conference and the state of Minnesota in interceptions. I had 7, okay? I would say that in 1993, I had coaches, and we played defense a little different back then. I was fortunate enough to get some college offers, ended up going to St. Cloud State for a short time, and then over to Normandale with Coach McKay, actually, who left Bloomington, Kennedy, to go to Normandale. So it's kind of a small world wrapped up in one. I'm very excited because my head high school coach, James Dosteth, is now the head of Minnesota Football Coaches Association, and he'll be coming by tomorrow night just to wish me good luck and to be there for the game. So I'm really excited about that.
You mentioned the weather, how you've helped prepare for it. I mean, what do you do the day of the game? Obviously, you played in some wet conditions. I'm using air quotes if you can't see me here.
Yes.
But the day of the game, what are some things like on the sidelines that you're going to need to have ready to try to help deal with the conditions if it is, in fact, rainy?
Well, you know, they're telling us it's going to be rain. So one thing, we got our cleat cleaners. You know, we got the things that you clean the cleats off with. We got our rain jackets there. You know, thanks for Rachel Keller and the Bloomington the Bloomington Athletic Association that Rachel Keller runs. They got us some jackets last year due to the cold weather, them along with our administration. So we're grateful for those. We'll have our jackets out. But really, it's our mindset is what we'll bring. Today we had a very, very wet practice, even in 70-degree weather. We turned on all the sprinklers, put the sprayers out, and everybody was pretty soaked. Feet was soaked, muddy, and just really tried to simulate what the field conditions will be tomorrow.
When you look at this game, Coach, what are some of the keys that you need to have happen to walk away with that big win number 4 that I know you guys are wanting to have tomorrow?
You know, the Patriots, give them the credit. They run the ball. They run the ball a lot. I would say 70% of the time they run the ball. So that's going to play to our strength, of course. The weather. You know, the weather will be a big thing. You have to mentally get past the weather. Our guys have not had a rainy game this year. We have not played in that this year, you know. Despite us playing 3 games in the snow last year, it's been pretty good to us this year, Josh. So, you know, and that's a mindset thing. You know, you get out there and you're more worried about the rain and the wet conditions than you are playing the ball game. So that's number 1. That's number 2. And then, you know, just learning that when we play the Minneapolis Conference, those kids are just like us, man. They're trauma kids, adversity. They fight every day to survive. We got a couple of kids in our program who live in North Minneapolis. One who lives, Chris Martin, lives right down the street from Patrick Henry High School. So he experiences a lot of the same trauma and adversity those kids do. So we talk about that. We have real honest conversations about the mindset that it takes to win those type of games.
When we asked Coach Etzel this, I got two final ones for you. When you look at this senior class, I know it's not a big senior class, but what are some of those things that you're going to remember about this group on and off the field?
I'm going to remember that most of all, they're going to win 7 or more games in 3 years. And that's something that we have not done at Kennedy High School. You know, they're going to be able to say, you know, we had the most winning class in over a decade. You know, just like our juniors this year. They're going to be able to say that after they go. And that's really a credit to my coaching staff, credit to the administration, and other people who have allowed Coach K to be who he is and to continue to turn around this program, really.
Last one for you. I know it's going to be some wet conditions, but how cool is it? Hopefully, is it going to be to get a big crowd out there to cheer on the team tomorrow night and weather the elements? I think anyone who walks in the building, that's a pretty diehard Kennedy football fan if the weather turns as it might tomorrow.
And I appreciate our fans. You know, they've done so well. And, you know, I owe the fans out there an apology for that De La Salle homecoming game. I apologize. I really do. It snuck up on us. We had no idea. We prepared. They brought in a new quarterback that day. They got us. Kudos to De La Salle. But I'm going to promise you guys something, Eagle Nation. We're ready to play tomorrow night. We're ready for you guys in the playoffs. We're ready for that support. We appreciate it. We appreciate it so much, Josh.
All right, Coach. We'll see you about 24 hours from now. Best of luck in the game, and we'll be rooting for you from the press box.
And don't forget, everybody, to close out the season, our Gurdon's fundraiser ends this Wednesday, actually. Get to Gurdon's. Please go online, code 318 with Gurdon Flowers. We appreciate it. Thanks for everything, Josh.
And on your screen right now, you can see how you can get involved in that Kennedy Gurdon's fundraiser that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. A very worthy cause, and you can pick up some great decor for your holiday season as well. So that'll wrap it up for this edition of Inside Kennedy Football. Final time, Wednesday, tomorrow night, the Eagles have their senior night, 7 o'clock at Bloomington Stadium against Minneapolis Patrick Henry. For our entire crew, this is Josh Powers saying good night from our studios.